It's time for a new 7-inch Amazon tablet. Let's take a look. Those of you who follow my channel will realise that I get very excited every time Amazon release a new device. This week is no exception, as Amazon are releasing a brand new 7-inch Fire tablet. The Fire tablet, this is the last generation by the way, I've not got the new one yet. The Fire tablet is a very popular device. It is quite simply one of the best budget tablets that money can buy. So let's take a look and see if Amazon are going to continue this trend. You will have to excuse the very boring visuals on the screen right now, but I figured it is the best way for us to compare the performance of the old with the new and see if it's worth investing any more money in. So let's first take a look at price. The last generation Fire 7, or the 7th generation or 2017 Fire 7, had a retail price of £49.99 or $49.99. This is set to continue, which is a great bit of form from Amazon. It's obviously a new generation. This is the 9th generation. Screen size remains at 7 inches, obviously, because it's the Fire 7. Screen resolution, no change. 1024 by 600 IPS. We have a gig of RAM, so that's not been increased. And now we start to see some differences. So storage. The storage on the lowest end model, which is the one that costs $49.99, has now been increased to 16 gigabytes of storage, which is very handy. As on the 8GB you could hardly fit anything on it, so it pretty much became useless after you'd installed a few games and apps. You can also now expand with an SD card up to 512 gigabytes, whereas on the previous generation you could only put 256 gigabytes. Battery life is up to 7 hours, which has dropped from the previous generation. Having said that though, the difference between 7 hours and 8 hours on this device you probably won't even notice unless you're doing something very specific repeatedly. Audio, continue with the mono speaker, the built-in microphone. We do have Alexa, and we also have some new colours. So on the previous generation we could choose between black, canary yellow, marine blue and punch red. On this generation we've got black, twilight blue, plum or sage. Very fashionable. The weight has dropped by a fantastic 9 grams. It now weighs 286 grams rather than 295 grams. And the dimensions are exactly the same. With a bit of luck we will see that previous generations' accessories will work with this device, such as a case or stand. Now let's get into some real nitty gritty now. So, for those of you that really care about the geeky stuff, here goes. The system on a chip platform has been upgraded from a 32-bit MediaTek MT8127 platform to a 64-bit MediaTek MT8163V/B platform. However, the kernel is only 32-bit, so we won't actually take advantage of that 64-bit computing on the new Fire 7. The CPU remains largely the same at 1.3 GHz quad core, but it is now based on the ARM Cortex A53 platform. The GPU, we have gone from the Mali 450 quad core to the Mali T720 MP2. In theory they should perform pretty similar, but I am going to do some benchmarks once I receive my Fire 7 2019. Wi-Fi remains the same with dual band, very nice. Bluetooth remains the same. Location services, we still only have Wi-Fi based. We can now have the Fire OS 6.3 on the new Fire 7 rather than 5.3, and that is now based on Android 7.1 rather than 5.1, which is still miles away from where actual Android devices are, but it does come with much better security and it should be a bit snappier. The front-facing camera has been upgraded from 0.3 megapixels or VGA to a 2 megapixel front-facing camera. So you should get some better performance on your apps like Skype or Messenger. The rear-facing camera remains at 2 megapixels, still not good enough to make any memories with photos. Disappointing. There's no autofocus on the camera still. The 5-point multi-touch remains the same. Still an accelerometer. No compass, no gyroscope, and this time we have a light sensor. So that should mean, in theory, that the new Fire 7 will automatically adjust to the environment and dim the screen, which may actually save you some battery. So that drop of an hour that we've previously discussed may not be as noticeable. And still no proximity sensor. So there we have it. A few differences, a few disappointments. The main disappointments for me are the size of the bezel, which remains thick and chunky. You can now get phones for around a similar amount, similar performance with practically zero bezel. It's not something we want to see on these devices. I think Amazon really now need to address this, and quite simply, if they reduce the bezel size, they'll probably sell more. The other thing disappointing for me is the camera. Yeah, the front facing has been upgraded, but the rear facing still isn't good enough to take photos. It'd be nice if we had something like a 5 megapixel that will just give us that little bit more clarity when we're taking photos or recording video. The main purpose of these tablets is to get a cheap device into your hands so that you buy into the Amazon ecosystem. I've been bought in it for many years and I don't actually consume it on many of the Amazon devices. Having said that though, I am a big fan of the Amazon Fire 10. Hopefully we'll be getting a new version of that this year that might be a bit more beefy than the previous generation. So if you're interested in buying the new Amazon Fire 7, I'll put links in the description below. Please do use the links below, as it does help my channel and it helps me fund future purchases and reviews, etc. And that encourages me to make content for your enjoyment. I will be taking delivery of one of the Fire 7s 2019 this week, and I will be going really in depth with the benchmarking. I want to know how much better it is than the previous generation, or if it is at all. This week we shall find out and we shall see. So please make sure you do subscribe to my channel to make sure you catch this next video that I'm going to make once I have delivery, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.